Welcome back to Mindful Moxies. Understanding your audience isn't just a marketing tool, it's a vital life skill. We'll dive today into why seeking to understand others can transform your personal and professional relationships. Let's go.
Be mindful of yourself, be mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath, it's your life. Live it, be your best, stay box free with your mindful moxie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you like our jingle?
So good.
Right?
So good.
Oh my God. Thank you to Rob Young. If you haven't followed Robbie on social media, please do. He's amazing.
He's
and
so
he
good.
Did this incredible jingle. And soon we'll have a surprise for you. We're going to
I can't wait.
I know. We're going to have the full Mindful Moxie song.
So many people have been asking me, like, who's that guy that's rapping? That's so cool. I'm like,
Right?
well, we have friends.
Do have friends. Thank you, Robbie. We love you.
Thank you, Robbie.
How's everybody doing today? Beautiful day for a Mindful Moxie Day. Oh, we should do that. A Mindful Moxie Day.
I love that.
Yes.
Mindful Moxie Monday, because I love alliteration. I can't help myself. Balance is bullshit. Mindful Moxie,
Mindful Moxie Monday.
I like that.
And what are we gonna do on Mindful Moxie Monday?
I don't know. We'll come up with something fabulous.
We can give out some candy. Ooh, have you seen the new? I don't know if this is new, but it's new for me. The Nerds gummy.
The gummy
clusters.
nerds. Oh my
Jesus.
God. Those are so good. They used to come in just the rope.
What in
And then the gummy, I know.
that is like the best thing that anybody has ever
Delicious.
invented. So it's settled. On Monday, Mindful Moxie Monday, we're gonna give out free gummy nerds.
Because we're self-development nerds.
Because yes. Oh, that's perfect. To the first 10 people that share our episode
All right, look at
On
you,
their
Miss
social-
Marketer.
on their social media, you will get a box on the mail from your Mindful Moxies of gummy cluster nerds.
Cluster
And
nerds.
you will thank me forever. No, dude, the other day, my
It
daughter...
needs to be M&M's because M&M is Mindful Moxie, Adrianna.
Oh, that's true.
Come on now.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I do love the nerd clusters.
dude, my daughter came to the house with one of those things, and she's like, "Oh, you like nerds? Try them." And I'm like, "Eh." And I tried them, and I'm like, I feel like something exploded on my mouth. It was just like...
It's so delicious.
It was delicious.
Yeah, so good.
Oh my God. Anyway, welcome back.
We
My name is-
digress. We're talking about candy here.
My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I am Luly B. Carreras.
And we are your Mindful Moxies. Woo, woo, woo,
And
woo.
we're so excited to be here with
Super
you today.
excited. This is awesome. This is our favorite thing to do.
It really is.
And I love today's topic.
Yeah, today's topic, we're going to talk about seeking to understand versus to be understood. This actually comes from one of my favorite prayers, the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. But I think it transcends in so many aspects of our lives. And I find myself when I am doing training or workshops, specifically with the work that I do in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, or I'm teaching a workshop at the Idea Center, and really diving deep with business owners. And they say to me something like, they just don't get it, Luly. My industry is different. My business is different. These people just don't get it.
Yeah.
I find myself often coaching in the workshop and saying, and whose opportunity for clarity is that?
Right.
Usually it is because we are not being clear, right? So usually it's an invitation to get curious, take a step back and go, okay, did we ask the right questions? Did we set the right expectations? What can be improved in our process? What can be improved in our messaging or in our marketing? So when, business owners, when you find yourself saying they just don't get it, pay attention. There's an opportunity for you to clarify, gather the team, gather your colleagues, ask for more information and gain clarity. And then what I realized was, hang on, this happens beyond business.
Beyond
business.
For sure. Absolutely. This happens beyond business. I was going to say, this is such an important topic because it really brings out one of the main things that we have to do as human beings in order for us to grow, to have better quality relationships, to build meaningful and authentic relationships, which is taking responsibility and learning how to take responsibility and understanding that we are the creators of our life. 100% of the things that happen in our lives, it's 100% our responsibility. And I know that this is a hard one to chew. I know. Bear with us. I swear to God, I understand. And if you right now are feeling like, no, but that's not true because my father did this, or my husband is this, or my boss is an asshole, I hear you. That might also be true. But the fact that it's happening to you in your life, whether your audience doesn't understand you or your husband is an asshole, it's because there is something that you are either doing or not doing. There is something that you are expressing or not expressing that it's opening the doors for this situation to happen to you. So what we want to teach you here is that you have the power. How to bring back the power in your life is by taking responsibility and, like Luly said, making it an opportunity to be clear.
To get clarity. And I love that 2 minutes in, Adriana's already dropping the truth bombs, right?
I can't help it.
She's already like, boo! Like,
dude,
like you just sucker punch so many people right
it.
now.
I can't help it.
She did it with a lot of love. And you can't help it because we know so many people, we experience this of so many people, and we've experienced this. So the opportunity, again, to see the bigger picture and get curious. I think for me, that piece of getting curious, what is my responsibility in this? Where is my opportunity to gain clarity? Where is my opportunity to ask better questions? Where is my opportunity to change my expectations? Where is my opportunity to give the necessary feedback? What is my responsibility? How did I co-create this? Not because I'm playing the blame game, because that's how I used to define it. Which is why I love that she already brought up the truth bomb.
So there's a big difference between responsibility and blame and
I
guilt.
would love for you to explain that because I think that's really important. It was something that you taught me. Yeah. And now it's so clear for me. But I think for a lot of the people listening or watching,
it might not be.
1,000%.
And again, this is trauma response. It's and it's not so dark as it may as it might sound. It's just an automatic human trauma response. So the difference between responsibility and guilt is that guilt or blame has a very, very heavy and low frequency on top of it, right? It's charged, is included a low frequency of this is my fault. And that comes from victim mode. That comes from a trauma response. That comes from hurt and from pain. I see this a lot in people that have experienced childhood with narcissistic parents, that making a mistake was not accepted or well received. People that grow up in environments where there were very high expectations and their parents were afraid of failing as a parent. So they placed really high expectations on their children so they could feel good enough.
Right.
And because of that, they took away the main right that we have as human beings of learning, of failing, of making mistakes. That is our right as human beings because through the mistakes and through the failures and through every single time that we are learning and we don't get something, we make a mistake, through that is what we grow. So when a child is not given that opportunity, when that happened to me, then you grow up without the grace of that opportunity and you don't learn how to take responsibility. Because if you take responsibility, that comes with a punishment. Your parents stop loving you. And for a child to feel like your parents stop loving you, that is a near-death experience. That is trauma. So because of that, we don't know how to take responsibility because unconsciously we feel like if we are at fault, if it's our fault, if it's our, it's our mistake, we are going to die.
Right.
I know this sounds crazy, but I promise you.
No, it doesn't.
This is exactly what happens in your brain. This is why sometimes, and I want you to think about it. Have you ever felt, and maybe you, Luly, can answer this question too, because I have you ever felt like you made a mistake and you don't want to accept it because you feel like you're going to die, like your heart is going to stop?
Yes.
Like the anxiety just eats you up. And you're like, and then you become defensive. And then you
Yes.
blame other people.
Yes.
And then you're like, no, it's you. You did this. You did this. The truth is that it's a trauma response because in the past, our parents didn't teach us that it was part of being a human
Right.
to make a mistake. So that is guilt. When you feel like you will lose love and you will die if you make a mistake. And I really want to make sure that I say this. It is not conscious.
Right.
So you are not thinking about it. You just
That's right.
feel the massive anxiety
Right.
and you become defensive. If you blame others, if it's hard for you to see and take responsibility, if you feel like your clients don't get you or your parents don't get you or your husband don't get you and you're blaming everybody else, I promise you are in trauma response and you might not know this. Now, responsibility, right? Responsibility is when you know that making a mistake is part of being human, when you actually embrace that as a part of growth and you give yourself the opportunity to learn from every single mistake that you make. And you see it as an open door. You see it as an energy that's conducting you and guiding you to the place where you are going to be able to be better. You see it as a stepping stone and not with the positive, toxic positivity mindset of like, oh, grab the negative thought and replace it with a positive. No, you genuinely
No.
stop it.
No.
You genuinely see it as a stepping stone. That is how you know that you're taking responsibility. And that is what we're talking about. Teaching you to take responsibility from a place of feeling good enough. So if you can't, I encourage you to take a look at that.
And then you can be like me, and I feel like we're going to do another Mindful Moxie confession. You can be like me where I still have a trauma response of defending myself, right?
Yeah.
So
Episode number 1.
was it episode number 1? Right?
The agreement.
The agreement, well, taking things personally. And then I think I shared the story of the turkey stamp.
Yes.
Right? And if you didn't listen to the episode, I'll just quickly share the story. I, at 5 years old, was asked to do a handstand in a gymnastics class. I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't remember the class where I learned how to do the handstand. And the teacher looked at me, pointed at me and said, well, you're a big fat turkey.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I know.
Can I please find that teacher? No, I swear to God. Every single time that she tells a story,
Yeah.
my blood boils because that teacher has no idea
Right.
how much she or he hurt you.
Yes.
And this happens today. I see TikToks all the time of people being funny and calling kids all names. And I saw it the other day at TikTok, like, oh, you're being a bad girl. Stop it. You don't know how much that hurts humanity. This is our collective trauma. Anyway, sorry. I had to.
Yeah,
Bent.
I agree. And to realize that today, having all the tools that I have, having the awareness and the curiosity and all those things, I still get to work on my defensiveness.
Yes.
Right? When I am feeling attacked, turkey stamp Luly just starts to scream and yell, and she's just like, defend us, defend us. Why?
Yes.
Because at 5, she couldn't defend herself.
Ah, how
Right?
powerful.
So understanding that that's a trauma response and understanding, and again, I want to remind you, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Right there with you. I'm equipped. I know what I need to do, and still turkey stamp Luly gets the best of me sometimes, and I
1,000%.
immediately defend myself. So the opportunity, although I've gotten better, I'm still working on this, right, is how can I be curious? And again, we're going to bring it back. This is happening in our marriages. This is happening in our relationship with our children. Maybe it's happening in a relationship with your children's teacher. Maybe this is happening in business with your clients, right? The opportunity is to get curious and do the best you can to set aside the emotions and the feelings and say, where is my opportunity to learn? Where is my opportunity to gain clarity, to make this an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to provide better customer service, an opportunity for a deeper, healthier relationship?
Absolutely. I love that you share this. Remember the episode where we spoke about why I love when people unfollow me? And we were talking about, people unfollowing you is just an opportunity for you.
So many people reached out to us
Yes.
and DM'd us, and we're like, wow.
Yes. But it's true though. When you get rejection, right? Or when you make a mistake and somebody calls you out on a mistake, or when something cringy happens, right? Of course, there's going to be a part of us that's going to be like, I hate it. But when you do the shadow work, which is what Luly was explaining, what I was telling you guys, when we are able to do the shadow work and understand why do we get defensive, why we are blaming, we're putting the blame on the outside, why we are not taking responsibility. When you get that out of the way, then you have an opportunity to get clarity on what's for you. Because in this life, not everybody's going to be your friend. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to be your client. It's just like Luly said the other day in the episode, you're not Jesus Christ.
I'm not Jesus. I'm not that big of a deal.
You're not that big of a deal. That's it, right? So that's a great opportunity for you to get feedback and understand, these people are not my clients, or this is how I can get to my clients. This is how I can be more clear, or this is how I can be more clear and talk to my partner.
Yes.
This happens to me a lot in my relationship with Arabia. Arabia, he's the best. I love him so much.
He is the best. It's kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a big deal. But the thing that I love the most about him is that he is so patient with little Adrianna. He is so patient with me, and he allows me. He sometimes talks to little Adrianna. When he sees that little Adrianna took over, because when that happens, you won't have access to your frontal lobe.
No,
and this
it's tunnel vision.
Yes. This is, again, don't believe us. Do your research. When trauma response, shows up, you stop using your frontal lobe of your brain, and you start using your reptilian brain, which is the one that the ancient response, and you will not notice, and you will not be able to control it if it's a trauma response. This is why it's a trauma response, unless you have a loving partner, a loving friend,
yes,
a loving business partner, a loving person that can say, I can see why you're feeling this way. This is what Arabia tells me. I can see that you're upset, and I can see that maybe you felt like I was trying to disrespect you, and I want to tell you that I love you and that you're safe, and that that's not what's happening. So I'm going to give your little girl the affirmation of, I love you. I'm sorry if you felt this way. He validates how I feel. And then he says, let me tell you, let me express myself in a different way. Let me change it in a different way. And I'm able to be like, oh, wait. This is not what's happening.
Right.
Little Adrianna is feeling rejected. And because I was bullied for so many years, shame has got me to hide, so I don't ever experience the death that I experienced when I was humiliated. So I push people away. I know that. That's my Turkey stamp Luly. That's my bullied
That's
Adrianna.
Right.
And when I start doing that with him, he's like, no, you're not going to push me away because I'm not bullying you. This is not what's happening. So let's take care of little Adrianna, and then let's move on. And then I'm able to see myself and to better myself become a better communicator.
Right.
Become more clear or more specific in the way that I speak. But I don't do it with pain and anger and fear and anxiety in my heart. I do it more with curiosity and learning the skill of communication, because it's a skill that we have to learn as humans.
And I love that you shared that story, and major props to Arabia. What a rock star, badass man,
amazing.
right? Like, just to the men in our lives, right?
Yes.
Like, just amazing. I think you just gave us a framework, right? Because I think about parenting, I think about relationships, whether it's a marriage or a romantic relationship or friendships, how powerful that framework of, I hear you, I see that you're angry, let me say it in a different way. Whether or not we know of the trauma that the person had, what a powerful way to acknowledge, see the person, and then reframe and almost like readjust the energy and the conversation. So going back to the defensiveness, which is mine, right? I have been in situations now, because I have the awareness and I have the tools, where I'm like, well, and I'm like, I don't have anything because he was right. And I'm the jerk.
What do I do now?
So can you just give me a kiss, and can we call it a day and just come and give me a hug, because I suck. So that's what happened.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Because the trauma response used to be, man.
Right. Because it became a habit, but there is no sauce filling up the habit. So you're like, I should be angry, and I don't know why.
I used to have so much ammunition, right? Like, I used to be like, well, like machine gunning.
Yes.
And now it's like, oh shit.
I don't know what to say.
He's right. I'm wrong. I suck. Okay, just give me a kiss and let's call it a day. You're right.
But how beautiful.
It is amazing.
That you're able to even do that for yourself.
Yes.
That you're able to have the compassion to say, kind of like what I was telling you earlier, like, I know it's not the best thing, but I don't give up. Like, I don't want to. Like, how beautiful to say, I'm throwing a tantrum. And I'm not going to, splash on somebody else. I'm not going to be an asshole. But it's okay. I'm not feeling 100% because we don't feel 100% all the time.
Or I'm doing it right now. I'm being a jerk right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And I think also having the courage to say that.
Oh, that's huge. This
right?
Is what I'm telling
because
you. Is the huge vulnerability, courage to embrace it and to ask for the grace of like, just give me a kiss.
Just give me a kiss and I'll just call it a day because you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
1,000%. And what's really going to make your noodle is that...
Break my noodle? Is that bake my noodle? What is that? I've never heard of that. Oh, but it sounds good. Now you're making me hungry. I'm talking about nerds and M&Ms, and now we're talking about noodles. You're going to bake my noodle?
I was really going to make your noodle. I got it from the Matrix movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Oracle says it to Neo. Anyway.
Okay.
What's really going to make your noodle is that in order for you to have a person like Arabia that acknowledges and that reminds me that I'm in trauma response so we can continue the conversation, or somebody like Gino that receives you and said, okay, I'm going to give you a kiss and love you anyway, right? Is that person needs to be taking responsibility as well.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, especially in relationships. This is why, listen, I have been doing this for a long time. You know me, I've been doing hypnotherapy for 15 years. And I can tell you that when I have clients that are going through a divorce, 90% of the times, or divorce in friendships, divorce in partnerships, 90% of the times, they are fighting over something that does not exist.
Wow.
90% of the times they're fighting over something that's very small, but my trauma response prevents me from understanding. And her trauma response or his trauma response prevents them from understanding. And they can't understand each other.
And we think all we need to do is replace the partner.
Yes.
Replace the friend.
1,000%.
Replace the client. And then it won't happen again.
Nope.
And the truth is, you're just replacing the problem.
Because anywhere you go, you're going to take yourself with you. You're going to take your pain with you, and your pain will keep speaking. And sometimes this is mind-blowing, and I talk about this all the time. There is people that will die with a small life because they don't feel safe taking responsibility and breaking those walls. And I really want to say that it is very fucking hard. It is very hard to break those walls. It is the most excruciatingly painful thing that you can ever experience, is embracing your shadow, your pain, your trauma, and taking responsibility and showing up courageous, authentically, vulnerable, and saying, it is my responsibility. I am going to seek to understand. I'm going to be open. I am going to let you in so you can see me. And that will allow me to have a meaningful connection with you, a meaningful relationship, but will also put me in the biggest danger in the world. Because if you decide to be an asshole and hurt me, I'm going to be hurt. And guess what? You're going to be safe because you're an adult. That's why not only in your business, but in your life, if you don't seek to understand, if you don't take responsibility, you will create a big wall that might work for you for a little bit. You might build, you know how many women I know that they walk around, and it breaks my heart, they walk around so proud of the life that they have created because they are in charge, because they control it. And they have people around them that are smaller than them because that's the only way they feel safe.
Wow.
And it's really hard for them to realize that they're living small because they're not taking responsibility.
I think about the quote I often say. It's a Leonard Cohen quote that says, it's only through the broken parts that the light shines through.
1,000%.
It's only through the broken parts that the light shines through. And I know that for me, my experience, I remember being in a session with you, probably the hardest session, you know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Yes.
And just sobbing. And when we were done, I had a headache and just like, I just needed a big nap. And I said to you, I was like, well, what am I doing this for? Like, this is like, what is the point of all of this?
This is what I do.
Like,
so
why
hard
am
to
I
sell.
such a masochist?
Yes.
Like, why would I do this? And you said to me, and I said to you, you said something to me like, because you're growing and you're elevating.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what the hell do all the unelevated people? Those people seem pretty happy to me. And you said,
they're not happy. They're comfortable.
that's right.
And they think they're happy, but when the party's over, when the clients leave, when they look at themselves in the mirror without makeup and they're about to go to sleep, they realize that they are not happy. Or when they get sick, when their bodies break, when they go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they can never be fulfilled. When this happens a lot, when a person close to you, your mother, your grandmother dies, and you suddenly have the wake-up call of like, oh shit, time's passing by. That's when you know that you're not 100% fulfilled. There's a book that I encourage everybody to read. It's from Stephen Pressfield. It's called Turning Pro. And this is 100% for businesses, but we can apply this to your life. And it talks about the shadow life. The life that tastes, feels, looks, and seems like the life that you want, but it's not. And the way that you know that it's not the life that you want is because deep down inside, you are not fulfilled. And what's terrible is that sometimes you might not even know what fulfillment means, but you do know what being uncomfortable means. You do know what having dormant dreams feels. And that feeling that comes up once in a while when you're not super busy, when your calendar's not full, when you're not feeding your ego, that feeling, or when you make a mistake and you have to take responsibility, that's the feeling that will be the thread that if you pull on it will take you to be like, oh no, this is not what I want. I've always wanted to be a ballerina, or I had a client that she was a super successful lawyer, and she was an incredible artist of graffiti.
Wow.
And in her head is like, I can never make money with graffiti. And then when we started working together, she realized that she built an entire shadow life and shadow career, shadow relationship, shadow everything. And when she took responsibility of her life, she was able to move to New York. She got a grant and she's making millions of dollars.
That's so
doing
cool.
graffiti.
That is so wicked cool.
But why? Because she had the courage
Yes.
to take responsibility. So this is what we want to encourage you today. How many times do you blame your clients or your partners or the people around you for not understanding you, for not giving you what you want, for you not being happy, for you not being able to make a sale? If that's the case, we encourage you to take responsibility, to look at yourself and to ask yourself, how can I be more clear? How can I heal my pain so that way I can communicate better? I can break those walls. I
Yep.
can let them see me so then I can connect authentically.
Yeah, and I think this was a heavy episode, but a necessary one.
Necessary.
And I can't help but say the thing that I love to remind people is sometimes we stay in the shit because it's warm,
Yeah. Oh,
but it's still shit.
that's amazing.
And that's what you were just talking about, my friend, is we stay in the shit and we will make all kinds of, it doesn't smell that bad. It's not that terrible.
Yes.
It's not, or the opposite. Who put me here?
Yes.
This is disgusting.
Yes.
Well, you can get up and come out of the pool. It might not be easy. And again, we just want to make sure that we discern. This
Yeah.
is not about blaming yourself.
No.
This is not blame.
Taking responsibility.
This is take responsibility and get curious. For me, that has been the biggest thing is where is my part in this? Where can I be curious to make it better?
1,000%. And the most beautiful thing is that once you do that, you are going to experience a higher level of understanding in the world with people that you never experienced before. Your empathy is going to grow. You're going to stop taking things personally. Your ability to see where others are coming from is going to be so huge that your relationships are going to get better. The quality of your relationships, the quality of your clients that you're going to choose now are going to be better. Why? Because when you take responsibility and you allow yourself to make mistakes and you see those mistakes as the core and the fertile space for you to grow, that's when you become a better person.
Amen.
Amen. I wanted to share a quote that I found on Instagram the other day that I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. If you are scared about the price of change, pay attention to what's costing you to stay the same. If you are scared of what's on the other side, pay attention to what you're experiencing. And every time that you complain about something, oh, I'm not the way that I want, oh, my relationship is not the way that I want, whatever, add the phrase, and I want it specifically this way. Because you want it that way. Otherwise, you would change it.
That's right. So good. Yeah, so good. Yeah. Heavy and necessary.
Heavy
my
and
mindful
necessary.
Moxie.
Yes. We love you. Thank you for being with us every week. Thank you for staying with the whole episode. If you are jogging, if you are exercising, if you're driving, if you're just watching in your phone or your computer, we want you to know that we are with you and we are speaking from personal experience. This is things that Luly and I are still working through.
Yes.
And that we help women every single day with this. So we got you.
We got you.
We got you. Thank you so much. My name is Adrianna Foster.
And I am Luly B. Carreras.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and visit mindfulmoxies.com to connect with us. See you next week.
Be mindful of yourself, be mindful of your wealth, be mindful of your health. You need it, just take a breath, it's your life. Live it, be your best, stay box free with your mind.